So I can't believe this might be actually happening, folks. Nancy Pelosi is actually stepping down from her position as House Speaker. So that means there are some big changes coming to Congress, and this comes as lawmakers set up a vote on President Biden's Build Back Better bill in just a couple of days. There is a ton of news to cover around the status of the fourth stimulus check, so be sure to keep on watching this video. So everyone, the IRS is beginning this month to send out two very important letters to Americans. These letters are important to hold on to and will be relating all stimulus money that we received last year. If you were eligible to receive a third stimulus check, then you have to be on the lookout for a letter from the IRS. And also, if you were eligible to receive monthly expanded child tax credit payments last year, then you also need to keep an eye out on your mailbox for a letter from the IRS. So these letters are important if you are filing taxes this year. The IRS has announced that they will be arriving before the end of this month. So anyone who received the third stimulus check could be getting a letter from the IRS, which will help them find out whether they should claim their recovery rebate tax credit on their tax return that they are filing this year. This is also important if you're looking to receive a plus-up payment. In fact, many Americans are eligible to receive a plus-up payment from the IRS. It is also good to know that the IRS prioritizes sending out relief money to people that meet the requirements to receive a plus-up payment. But the not so good news is that some of you may have missed the December 31st deadline to claim plus-up payments. But luckily, there are a few things that you can still do if you're eligible for the stimulus check. So what you can do is claim the missing money on your 2021 tax return. All you have to do is file your taxes so the IRS can process your tax return. And the IRS will gather all the new details that they need to qualify you for this plus-up check. And let's say that you had a newborn last year. Then you will be receiving a stimulus check for your dependent and also a $3,600 stimulus check. That's all thanks to the expanded child tax credit. So hopefully that clears up any confusion on the next batch of stimulus payments. But as I was saying about Nancy Pelosi, she is widely expected to step down from her top spot among House Democrats, especially if Republicans take back the chamber. Pelosi decided to step aside, and that would cap a remarkable 20-year run as a top Democrat in the House of Representatives, and leave a major power space for our party to fill. But whether Nancy Pelosi does or does not decide to step down from her position, more relief bills need to be passed in Congress. Chuck Schumer has also confirmed that he's been having private conversations with two holdout Democratic senators on making big changes to the filibuster. Schumer even admitted that pushing through a rule change like this at least, would be an uphill climb, but a climb that needs to be made to help the American people. And changing the filibuster is actually an idea that is supported by several Senate Democrats that want to get President Biden's bill passed as quickly as possible. And there are Republicans and a few Democrats that are currently standing in the way of passing Biden's economic agenda. The Senate has a long-standing practice of allowing any one senator to object to proceedings, and what's generally referred to as a filibuster can pause action and even on votes. This is what is known as a filibuster, and as the country and Congress has grown more partisan, the filibuster has actually become a key practice used by both parties. Year by year, everybody, more and more senators threaten to wage filibusters to block legislation. Overcoming filibusters can take days, if not weeks. Even without a senator holding the floor, filibusters have forced senators into all-night and weekend votes to advance the bill. And that happened during the passage of the Affordable Care Act. So it would make a huge difference if the filibuster is actually removed from the Senate. But do you think it should be done? Tell me your thoughts on this, everybody.
I am delighted to introduce a true champion for expanding Social Security, for Medicare for all, for fighting to make sure that Social Security is fully funded, and really to protect our freedom. Senator Bernie Sanders.
Let me begin by thanking Nancy and Dana Duggins with AFGE and Max Richmond with the National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare, and Robert Roach with the Alliance for Retired Americans for organizing this event, for all of you for being here. Let me back this up just a little bit to put this into a context. And the context is that about 40 years ago, people like the Koch brothers, who are the second wealthiest family in America, introduced an ideology into American politics, which way back then seemed pretty crazy, but has grown in its support within the Republican Party over the years. And this was their ideology. Their ideology was that the federal government should not be involved in retirement security, i.e. Social Security, public health, i.e. Medicare, Medicaid, community health centers, should not be involved in a postal system, should not be involved in the Veterans Administration. They, 40 years ago, were not calling for cuts in these programs. They were calling for the elimination of these programs. That maybe the federal government would fund defense, but that's about it. Corporate world would fund everything else. And over the last 40 years, we have seen that right-wing extremist ideology become the dominant ideology of the Republican Party. That is what Paul Ryan talks about every single day. So these guys ultimately want to destroy Social Security. And you can do it in a variety of ways. You can cut COLAs, you can raise the retirement age, you can cut benefits, you can cut disability programs, and you can make it impossible to administer the program by cutting the Social Security Administration. And when I meet with my caseworkers in Vermont, what they tell me is one of their frustrations is people call in and say, I have a claim that's being processed. When is it going to be processed? How long does it take? There was a piece you may have seen in the Washington Post a couple of months ago. And what it said, unbelievably, is that last year, some 10,000 people died, D-I-E-D, who had disabilities, who were waiting for their claims to be processed. Can you imagine? You have a disability, you submit a claim, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and then you die. And now we have Republicans who want to make a very bad situation, an underfunded and understaffed Social Security Administration even worse. So let us be clear, this is not just cost saving. This is an effort to destroy Social Security. Are you going to have confidence in a Social Security Administration if they can't respond to your needs? You're going to call up, you're going to wait forever, you're going to say, who needs it? These people can't do their work. And people don't know that the Social Security Administration is understaffed and underfunded. So what is our job? And I want you all to know this. We are very conscious, Bob Casey, Elizabeth Warren, I, many others. When we look right now at this budget situation, the dire circumstance we're in right now, today, literally today, we have an alternative program to what the Republicans are proposing. Republicans want to spend a huge amount of money on the military. And what we are saying is for every nickel you spend on the military, we're going to spend on the needs of the American people.